Hi there, this is Brett Bertrand. I sincerely thank you for the time that you will be reviewing this video for the associate training position. Just a little background on myself. I have been with T-Mobile almost 4 years. July will be 4 years. And I'm married. I've been married for 21 years. I have 4 kids. And I definitely like to spend time with them, as well as be at T-Mobile and just share my knowledge and everything.
Why do you want to be a training assistant?
I want to be a training assistant. I've always liked to teach people what I know, as well as, just really see them succeed long term. That is something that is very rewarding for me. And if they have questions, they can always come to me. And if I don't have the answer, I will find it for them. But I have a passion for teaching. My dad was a teacher for 40 years at the high school level, and it was just phenomenal the way that he taught us how to interact with the students, the faculty, just any of the superiors that would be in there as well.
What do you believe to be important behaviors when interacting with new hires and/or existing reps when in a training capacity?
When you're in a training capacity with existing reps as well as new ones, one of the biggest things you're going to have to overcome is probably on a new hire level. They're kind of nervous, they're kind of scared, so you got to make the environment relaxed. If they're tensed up and just really eager, then they're not going to enjoy the learning, or they're not going to absorb it. So you got to make the environment relaxed, and you got to kind of break the ice and let everybody know, who's who, what's going on, type of a deal. And you also have to have that trust for that open environment, so that when the new hires do come in, they know you're there for them. You're there with their best interest in mind to succeed at T-Mobile. I mean, you're laying the foundation for the new hires on their career, their career path, where they want to go, what they want to do. So you're laying that foundation so that they can succeed and really get into it. Now, as far as the existing reps, they've been doing the job for a while. Depending on what you're training them on, that's where I would probably say the biggest kind of thing is the fear of the unknown. Because they've been doing it a while. So they're not really nervous, but they're like, why are we really doing this? So it has to be applicable to what they're going to be doing. As well as the same thing, with the new hire class. You got to make it a relaxed environment, have some fun. Don't want to be doing any lecture and standing up and just, that gets boring. Not something I like personally learning like that. So I would rather have a relaxed environment, have some fun, and that most people will absorb that information easier that way. So there's the trust, the confidence that you know what you're talking about, as well as kind of just breaking that ice and making the most relaxing environment you possibly can.
What are your qualifications for this role? Do you have any corporate training experience?
I don't have any official corporate training experience, but I have had where I've been in mentor programs where the new hires come out of training and they actually mentor with me for 2 to 3 weeks. This was when I was at one of my former jobs, Hewlett Packard. I was part of that program. So I could teach them how the systems work, let them get some hands-on experience. Granted, that was an outbound call center side of things. But we also did sales. We had tons of tools that we needed to use. That would allow them to help with the incoming calls, incoming emails, how to quote things, how to, get just down in the dirt and look up orders and whatnot. And it was the reps that I did do that with, there were 3 of them. They're very successful, and they had a great time doing it.
What about at T-Mobile?
At T-Mobile, when I was early on, about 6 months after I was hired, Nathan Stewart, who is now in Bellevue, he was my coach, and when I got out of training, my IOCR was pretty low, and he was wondering why or how or what I was doing with how I was doing it. So he had me put a presentation together for our team and go over it. It was about a 15-minute presentation or so on how I perceive what I'm doing to get that IOCR down. And once the group implemented it, we dropped our IOCR 2 to 3%. And then I also worked on an individual level with the ones that were kind of struggling and still had a high IOCR. and I was able to get that brought down. Some of them were at 27%. I was able to get it down to about 20%. So just very good results on that side of things. And I also, again, I love to teach people.
Why should you be selected, and what do you bring to the table to help our department succeed?
I would bring my expertise. I do have a sales background, so I have done several presentations to board members, company owners, CIOs, CFOs, COOs within various companies. And I mean, when you're trying to sell something to a company that's $700,000 or maybe $1 million, you got to be on point with it. And then, on top of that, I also have a technical background. So I can make the complex very easy to understand. I've taken that skill because, you know, when you're talking to somebody in purchasing about this equipment, they don't care about the ins and outs and how it works. They're going to want to know, what is it going to do for me? Is it going to save money on my bottom line? Is it going to make me money? What's it going to do? They don't care about the ins and outs. So you have to kind of sway that over there and put it in layman's terms or very understandable terms so that they can understand why are you purchasing this equipment for this amount of money, because they don't care about how it works. So that would be one of the big things, is I can take the complexity out of it and make it very easy to understand.
What is your familiarity of team of experts and those line of business?
As far as team of experts, I am currently in the team of experts. I have been since we went into training, I think it was February 12th or the 13th. So I've gone through the whole curriculum training. I've gone through the TCC side of things. I've gone through the RSL training that we just recently did. And I have been taking calls and been in techs fully for basically the last 2-3 months on dealing with that whole line of business, with the billing, the customer service, everything else. It is going quite well for me. At this point, my IOCR, or my FCR, since it's 7 days on there, is around a 71-72%, and my up scores are a 9.5. So just some of the highlights, my sales numbers are up around the 12 mark. So it's going very well, and I definitely enjoy it. But I would like to further my career within T-Mobile and pass that information on to the new hires or the new group of tech teams if I am selected for the associate trainer job.
Training assistants may be asked to work any hours that the center is open. What schedule limitations do you have?
I don't particularly have any schedule limitations. Preferably, I'd like Monday through Friday. As far as times, it really doesn't matter too much. But I do have, the 4 kids and my wife and whatnot that I do like to spend time with. But I am flexible with that. It's not like a hard and fast thing. It's got to be Monday through Friday. I'll do what we need to do, and we'll adjust accordingly.
Do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
At this point, I would just like to say thank you for your time. Hopefully this video, as well as the other one that you'll be seeing for the demonstration, will put that in perspective of what I can really bring to the table for you. Thank you, and have a nice day.